Welcome to the Read Your Keys podcast. I'm your host, Joel Lopez. If you're enjoying the podcast, please go ahead and like, subscribe, follow we're on iTunes, Spotify. We're also on YouTube. Today I have a special podcast. This is the Read Your Tweets edition of the podcast. And today I have my special guest, Monica, who is at Take Heart Monica on Twitter, and my cousin Abe, who is Abe Lopez, author on Twitter. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. And I use that term very loosely.
You guys are not cousins. Liar.
We are cousins.
Prove it.
We are distant cousins. We all look the same, and we have the same last name.
All right, then. You're cousins.
It's my cousin Abe. I call him Gabe sometimes.
Yeah.
Poor Gabe.
Yeah.
So this is supposed to be a humorous, lighthearted version of the Read Your Keys podcast. And Monica and Abe and I, we kind of go back and forth, snapping on each other. And it's a lot of fun. So I figured, hey, let's do it a little different. So thank you guys so much for coming on today.
Thanks for having us.
Well, how are you guys doing so far? Good day for everybody?
It's a good day.
Yeah.
Friday.
Yep. Friday, nice and hot, like 97 degrees, but you know, the humidity makes it even better.
Ain't got no job.
You ain't got stuff to do.
You ain't got nothing to do. What are some pet peeves that you guys have? Either regarding like your jobs too. I guess it's kind of funny. Everybody has like pet peeves around their jobs or just in general. It's got some pet peeves.
Good, Monica.
I can't stand, like when someone's telling a story about their grandma, just be like, so my grandma said, instead they're like, my Mima or my Moo Moo. Like they just have all these weird names for their grandma.
That's endearing. What's wrong with that? I think it's very sweet.
It's
My
freaky.
Mima.
Keep it to yourself. Those are things that should only be said in private.
So a grown man saying, hey, my Mima, automatically is just like, you know what? You're out.
Like, I got to go to my Guga's house today.
That's good.
That's actually kind of mean. I actually think it's pretty sweet. It's like, look at this grown man. Look at him. He's grown. He's, like this guy fought in wars and everything. He still calls her Mima. Like, oh, look at this sweet guy. His Mima still turns him into a little 5-year-old boy.
Yeah.
Eating Werther's candies.
It's right up there with people who, when they're telling you a story, instead of being like, yeah, so I was at my mom's house the other day, and they'll be like, I was at mom's house the other day. I'm like, it's not my mom. Like, it's your mom.
That makes sense.
But that's like a personality type. It's so weird.
What's funny is my sister and I had this ongoing joke because for whatever reason, I'm not sure if it's translation in Spanish or whatever else, but when we talk about our mom, but it's my mom, and my sister's like, no, well, it's my mom. No, it's she's my mom first.
And you fight over her.
The joke is always, she didn't never tell you that you were adopted, sort of thing, But it is kind of true. It's talking about my mom. It's like, well, it's it's debatable.
Yeah, my kids will do that too. It's like, hey, it's my mom, and it's like, well, no, it's your brothers and sisters' mom too. But it ends up being my mom, and then they start fighting over it. It's like they fight over the stupidest thing. So I guess that's my pet peeves, is fighting over stupid stuff. But my kids are young, so they have an excuse still.
I will say though, a lot of guys don't know familial relationships. Like they'll be like, I don't know, it's my mom's brother. Does that make him my uncle?
Yeah.
Like, how don't you know that? You're grown.
It's a complete mystery to some people. It's like they can't connect the dots.
Well, to be fair, I guess it depends on like the family, because like I have somebody who is like close to me, like we see them regularly. It's like my mom's cousin. So like, is that my tia, my aunt? Is she my cousin? Like, I don't know.
Well, that's when it gets complicated. But that would be, I think, your second cousin once removed or something.
Yeah.
Like those are complicated. Those I understand, but they're grown people who don't know what an aunt is or like a half sister or whatever. They get really confused.
I always like that. There was a tweet a little while back that said that my sister's pregnant. I can't wait till she has a baby so I can find out if I'm going to be an aunt or an uncle. That's somebody who really doesn't understand.
I mean, you never know these days.
Yeah.
What was that about Abe that said when we had spoken last week, something about like my wife's
my wife's then boyfriend. I'm like, no. Okay, I just misspoke. It was my sister's then boyfriend, not now her husband.
yeah, it's like my
But
wife's boyfriend. It's like Abe.
in Arkansas, it could be my wife's then do like a sister wife sort of thing. Like, although I guess that'd be more of a Utah thing than an Arkansas thing.
Yeah. But I
They
don't
do
know,
that in
man.
Arkansas. Do you guys have any pet peeves?
My pet peeve is talking about pet peeves. Like people start talking pet peeves, and I'm like checking out. Like, I don't want to hear you complaining. I
That's
have a big thing
because
with
Right now?
complaining. Like complaining is like I can't stand it. So that's like my pet peeve is complaining. So when people start talking about pet peeves, I'm just like, oh man, like
yeah, but that's because people just have basic pet peeves. They'll be like, breathing, chewing loud. But there's so many obscure ones that I don't think it's complaining. It's just like observing. Like, why would you do that?
I'm pretty observant. I'm very observant. But a lot of stuff just doesn't bother me. But complaining bothers me. Like my kids know. Like the one thing you can do to make me mad or get me upset is to complain.
Yeah, it is annoying.
Yeah. You can't.
But I don't like when people, like when you're getting out of your car and you're the one driving and someone else is getting out of the car and they take forever and you just want to lock the door. You can't tell me that doesn't annoy you just a little bit.
So you're in a parking lot
Yeah.
and you pull up and there's somebody in the passenger side and they're trying to get out, or
No, like someone in your car. Yeah. They're
Someone's
in the
in your
passenger
car?
seat. Yeah. And they just sit there forever and you're like, let's go. Like, I want to lock the car, and they just, for some reason, they just take forever to get out of the car. They take their time.
well, I have kids, so
Yeah. I
That
mean,
takes
that's
forever.
different. I'm talking about grown people in the front seat. No?
Wait,
Well.
so like you're okay. So I thought you meant like if I pull up and I want to get out and I'm in the driver's side and somebody pulls up next to me and there's somebody in the passenger side because I don't want to open it because I don't want to bump doors. So I'm gonna wait. I thought that's what you meant. I didn't know that they were in the same
No.
car with you. So you just don't like
No,
people
they're-
because you just want them to get out of the car. Like, you know what? I'm done with
No,
you.
I like
Get out of
people.
the
Just
car.
get out of the car fast. That's all. When you pull up to your spot, open the door, get out of the car. They like sit there. I don't know what they're doing.
You probably should have gotten them an Uber and not don't give people rides.
Whatever. Abe,
I've never had that before. So that's a strange pet peeve. I misunderstood your pet peeve. Now it's very strange. My pet peeve is people with strange pet peeves like yours.
whatever.
My-
I have a few.
I think kind of not that strange or whatever else, but it's just people that don't like take social cues well, especially like on the phone. You're just having a conversation's done, and then they just they don't understand. It's like I gotta go, I got something else to do, or I gotta I just want to get off the phone, and they just don't take that cue, and they just they just keep on rambling, which is it makes you appreciate people that I have my father-in-law and my mom actually. Is with my father-in-law especially. I think he was in the military, so he like knows. He's like he somebody tells him something and he's just like, all right, and then they're like, hey Gene, I'm gonna, and he's like, okay, bye, and he'll just hang up. And seriously, he's got that mentality. It's like, I'm not gonna waste your time. Good talk. I'll talk to you later. That's it.
It can be really awkward to hang up the phone though, because people are like they'll be like, all right, goodbye, and then you say goodbye, and they'll be like, have a good day, and you're like, you have a good day too. Okay, goodbye. Yeah, goodbye. See you tomorrow. Like, it just keeps going on forever. I appreciate a person who says bye and hangs up.
And it's just done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Just
think I don't think you like being around like Mexicans, Latinos, because when we say bye, like especially if we're visiting, goodbye takes like a good like 45 minutes to an hour.
45 minutes to an hour. Yeah. If you leave earlier than that, you're being rude.
Yeah. It's like you have the goodbye in the house, and then you have the goodbye like in the driveway, and then you have the goodbye at the car, and then you have the goodbye as like they're leaving.
They're like, they'll follow your car as you're leaving. They wave you
And then there's the honk. You have to roll down the window.
That's exactly
Hey, see you later.
You have to give him the honk, or else it's like he didn't honk.
Oh yeah, very rude.
I mean, a lot of people do that, but the phone, that's just.
I think that's why a lot of people do prefer to text, because it's just like, you know what, after a while, if you just stop texting back, it's just like I got busy, you know.
Yeah.
Or I just, you know, have other things to do.
No, that makes sense. Why people like text. I actually prefer the phone though.
Me too.
Yeah, I mean, like, well, it actually depends. If it's somebody who, you know, I don't mind talking to, or somebody I haven't talked to for a while, or whatever else, it's definitely, you know, hear their voice and talk to them and everything else. But then other people, I think it's just more convenient just to text them, just be done with it.
People are scared of the phone now, though. People like do anything to avoid talking on the phone. I think it's so weird, because if texting was invented before the phone, people would be like, it's so cool, you can hear their voice. But now we're just like, well, not me, but other people really are like scared of it.
Like texting, it's kind of a regression in technology, but they think of it as more advanced than talking on the phone. Kind of
exactly.
Strange.
Yeah, because it's pretty amazing. I think my wife she homeschools our kids, and they were talking about how like the phone works, and like how like the voices translate, and it's actually light that they use.
Yeah.
So it's like the light is going through the, what do they call it, the fiber optics or the cables or whatever. Like, yeah, it's really not sound that you're listening to. It's like light being translated as sound.
Right.
And that sounds freaking crazy.
Yeah, I mean, like think about how like television works or other things work. It's like, oh, it's basically magic. You know, it really, you know, you think about it, it's like, I mean, like even a camera, how does it take that image over there and translate it? And it's like, oh, I'm looking at it now in a physical form or on my phone. And it's like, oh yeah, it's just, you know, it's just photons. It's just, you know, little beams of light.
Soul stealing.
Yeah, it's crazy. It really does. It takes a piece of your soul every time you get a picture.
Maybe that makes sense why like people who are like on Instagram or like all the time, it's like, why are they like that? It's like, well, they've taken too many pictures.
Yeah, exactly.
Soul's gone.
Sucks your soul.
And it's also, you look at you know, people that, you know, went and took vacations before, and before it was all about taking pictures of the actual places they went to, the monument, the mountain, the wherever they went. And now it's all about you having to be included in the monument or the mountain or whatever else. It's like we become very, I guess, yeah, self-centered. And I kind of prefer it the other way around. Just, you know, actually experience the.
Oh, hold on, Abe. Let me ask you. So I send you pictures of my vacation. Like, you really want to see like the pictures of the Grand Canyon? You'd be like, oh, like this is a great picture of the Grand Canyon, instead of like pictures.
Every once in a while, it's like, okay, I get that you were there. Because like, you don't have to prove to me that you were there. It's like, oh, I get that you were there, dude. It's like I see it, you know. And I can enjoy a nice picture of you know, a canyon or a mountain or whatever else. It's like, and it's coming from you, so I'm you know, I'm trusting that it's you. It's just, you don't have to be in every single, like, look, it's actually me. So
I always kind of flip through those pictures, like, all right, scenery, great, like let's see where the people are. That's how I always.
I mean, to me, it's more, I guess depending on what it's for, but I just feel like a lot of people go on vacation now, and it's almost as though they have to prove it to someone else instead of actually just being. And I think it kind of takes you out of the moment a little bit.
Yeah,
sort of thing.
That's like a personality type of people who, like, I don't like being in pictures much. Like every once in a while, okay, but I have friends that just want to take pictures all the time. And I'm like, I'm not going to be in the picture. And they'll fight with me like the whole time. And that's another one of my pet peeves. Yeah. If someone says they don't want their picture taken, just don't take their picture. Leave them alone. I'm trying to keep as much as my soul as I can.
Yeah. Whatever's left.
Yeah. Whatever I haven't sold.
I used to be like that. I hated taking pictures. And now I don't, because like I have kids and stuff. So it's like, oh, like when they see pictures of like me and my wife before we dated, it's like, that's you guys? That was you guys before us? Like, oh my gosh. And I was like, oh, I would fight with my wife all the, like we would have like fights. Like, I don't want to take the stupid picture. Like, all the time. Like, let's take a picture, because my wife is like a picture. She was like, hey, let's take pictures. And I was like, no, this is stupid. Like, I know what I look like. I know what you look like. We don't need to take pictures. But now it's like, dang, she was right. I should have taken more pictures. And so now we're at the point where like family pictures, like, well, I'll pay. Like, we just like, let's just make this a yearly thing, because the kids change so much. It's like, oh, okay, like, let's take the pictures. And now I have kids who are just like me, and they hate having their picture taken, and it's so frustrating, because it's like, man, I'm paying a lot of money for these pictures. You better smile.
They're funnier when they're not smiling.
And the thing that your mom always told you when you were a kid, you're gonna have a kid just like you. You watch. It's like, oh crap, it happened.
Man,
Turned out to be true.
This kid literally acts like his soul is being stolen when it's time for pictures.
I'm telling you, kids know. I think there's a healthy amount of pictures, but some people just go way overboard, and it's like, all right, let's enjoy the moment.
Yeah. No, I think that there's definitely a balance. Like, hey, let's enjoy being here, and let's, I don't know, record what's going on, or to have a memory of this. But man, if all you're doing is taking the picture, it's like, all right, man, stop.
Yeah.
That's a good pet peeve. People who take too many pictures.
Yeah, people who record the whole concert.
Yeah. How about you be here? Yeah.
Yeah.
How about you be here?
You have the phone up in the air the whole time. For one, has there ever been any of those videos that ever turn out like decent at all?
No,
not really. And
never.
Did anyone ever watch the entire thing? Not really.
No.
So basically what you're really doing is blocking other people's view the entire time and taking them out of the experience just so that you have a recording of it. I think that's one of the more self-centered things you can do. It's like, just be at the concert and just enjoy it.
And no one, like, does anyone really go back in their phone and watch the video themselves?
I think more than anything, it's like, oh yeah, I was at that concert. It's just a reminder to them. You could have just taken one picture and done that. You don't need a 2-hour long video, you know?
Yeah. Everyone just needs to put their whole life on the internet for everyone to see.
You know, it was real cool. When Dave Chappelle was starting to do his concerts again, we went, and they made you put your phones away, like in these little, like,
the bags, right?
Yeah, the bags, exactly. So it was like real cool, because it was just like, yeah, nobody was on their phone. They were just there.
They had to be in the moment.
Wow, exactly. Because he didn't want people recording it and sharing it, whatever. But it was really cool, because it was just like, yeah, you're there to enjoy the show, so everybody's enjoying the show, and like, you're not having to worry about, like, somebody blocking your view, like you said, because they're trying to record and put it on Facebook Live or whatever. Look at me,
because they're doing it for them.
Yeah,
that's, I think, one thing that we've kind of missed, or we've kind of started losing, is a shared experience. Like as a society, you go to some place, you watch a movie, and if everyone just left their phones at home and just like spent 2 hours watching a movie together. Because I remember when we were kids, we watch school would take us once a year or whatever else to go watch like a Disney movie or a Disney cartoon, and I just remember that joy of like, you actually have more fun a lot of times when everyone else there is having a good time. Mm-hmm. And I feel like a lot of the times now, phones actually take away from that. You feel like a bunch of little individuals. You don't feel like a crowd anymore. And I think a big reason is because of those phones.
Oh yeah. And kids on iPads, that's a subject for another day.
Yeah, I'm sure we can get to that.
I can talk about that all day.
Let's get into our first tweet here that we have saved up. Where is my doc? There we go. And then now, how do I share screen? Does it let me share?
There we go.
All right. The first tweet we have is from Hobbs, at Hobbs Posting. Bro, you can just ask girls on a date and they'll say yes. It's that easy.
That's true.
Being a woman, being the woman on this panel, Monica, we'd like to get your take on this.
I don't know. It's just being on Twitter. I'm sure you guys have all seen, there's so much dating advice and it is so complicated. It's like, do this, don't text her this many times, don't double text her. Like it's just ridiculous. And it's like, at the end of the day, just be confident and
try to, yes.
Yeah. I mean, But like on the flip side, and a lot of people disagree with this because I get a lot of people that message me and just say, hey, hey, hey. And I'm like, that's a little low effort. Like I don't respond to that. But I've um had people disagree with me. They're like, if they're attractive enough, any girl will answer to hey. But like me personally, I'm like, at least say like, hey Monica, how are you? Or something like personalized. If you just say hey, I just assume you're messaging every girl and saying hey, you know?
It's kind of a weird thing though. Twitter, like, okay, maybe you're attractive. Say it is an attractive person that messages you, hey, but it's like you're on Twitter. You could be all the way on the other side of the world. So I don't really care how attractive you are because I'm not going to make the effort to go and see you. So
Yeah, but
why?
people do. People have gotten married off there. And it's not just Twitter, it's like any social media or dating app or text message, whatever, you know?
I don't know. I think of dating and like seeing somebody in person. That's how I see it. I guess
Yeah, but you got
that's
married
why
when you were
I'm not
real
the
young.
what's that?
You got married when you were real young,
Oh,
right?
I know. That's why this doesn't make sense to me. Like
Yeah.
I'm not the dating advice guy because dating was way different when I did it and I didn't really do it.
Yeah. It's different now because like I don't especially, when you're a Christian and you have certain views on COVID and all these things, you don't always meet people just walking around. So a lot of people are meeting on social media, because they're trying to connect with someone that shares their views.
Yeah. And the other thing about it also is like you're saying, is like you're hopefully, getting somebody who does have similar views than you, and that you guys are copacetic with a lot of things. But if their opening line is hey, then what does that really tell you about the person? Is like,
Right.
and at that point, you really have to ask yourself, okay, pretend it's not Twitter. Pretend you are going up to this actual person. What kind of effort would you put there if you actually want it to go somewhere?
Hey.
And then it would actually be, I'm sure it'd be something a little different. Because if you just went up to a girl, hey, in real life, what possible? Oh my God, I'm gonna fall in. Did you hear how he said hey to me?
Yeah.
No, there's got to be
It's
some.
weird.
Yeah, it really
It's
is
weird.
kind of, yeah, it's very strange. But because the Twitter kind of gives you a little bit of, we all know keyboard warriors, like, that have this confidence to say, all this stuff online behind a keyboard. If you said that to somebody in real life, what would happen? It's the same thing here. It's like, okay, what do you want out of it? Do you actually want to strike up a conversation, or do you just want to, just for a gleaming second, get somebody's attention that you might like, and then after that, it's like, well, she didn't go for it, so I guess it's over.
Right. And I think like him saying, bro, you can just ask girls on a date, and they'll say yes, it's that easy. Like people complicate it to where they'll like keep wanting to talk to you every day through text message or what, like literally just pick up the phone, ask her for a number, pick up the phone, call her and say, hey, do you want to go out sometime? Like it really is that simple. And any girls that's like, well, I don't really know you or whatever, then they're probably not ready to date. So complicated.
I thought the way it works is that you see a nice young lady, you ask her to dance, you bump uglies with clothes on, and then you get married. That's how
Is
it
that
works.
is that what you did?
That's how it works.
TMI, Joel.
I thought that was just that's how it goes, you know. This is the way the world works. No?
Nope. Maybe for some people.
So yeah, I don't know. I don't yeah, I think people make it too complicated, but I also think the technology has made people think too much. You see a pretty
Yeah.
girl, go holla,
Exactly.
go holla at her.
Yeah.
But I think it means more if a guy like reaches out to you in person than if he does on say social media or a app or something, right?
Well, yeah, if they have the confidence to go up to you in person, for sure.
Are guys not confident anymore? Or are they afraid about like maybe like, oh, it's gonna get taken the wrong way, I'm gonna get arrested?
Some are cool. I think that is a fear. Like I hear that from guys a lot that girls will like be creeped out or think they're weird, but um some guys are fine just walking up to you. I think it's weird when I see somebody all the time and they don't talk to me in person, but then they'll message me on the internet, like find me on Facebook or something. I'm like,
Hmm.
It's like that. It's that buffer. It's like,
just
well, I don't,
yeah,
I don't actually have to be there, face to face, so my computer will keep me safe. And if she rejects
Yeah.
me, then I don't have to really, it's not really a rejection because the computer's there for me.
Did you guys see
Exactly.
that? Did you guys see that video? There was this guy or this girl was being interviewed on TV at the park. I think they were talking about the Rona, and then the guy just goes up to her and like smacks a big old kiss on her. And
Yeah,
then
it was a little while back, right?
after she's like snorting and just like, oh my god, like she's totally like
weak in the knees.
yeah, she was
But the
just like
thing is, people had all these different, takes on it or whatever else, but it was actually pretty rare to see an actual real kind of human connection, because I think it's pretty rare nowadays for people to be very authentic and very, even if it was kind of spur of the moment things or who knows what it was,
yeah.
but it was really, really strange. And it's like, we kind of need a little more of that. And that's what I mean. There's technology obviously gives a lot to us, a lot of opportunities to us, but it also takes away a lot of humanity, unfortunately. And that's kind of what we're missing.
Yeah, she was weak in the knees and she was like, call me.
That's a gamble though. Walking up to someone and kissing them, you could for sure do that to the wrong person.
I think she said that they had like a conversation beforehand, but that was like the first time that she had met him and they had like a conversation, and then homie went in like a G for the kiss, and she was just like, oh my gosh. So I don't know what happened after the fact, but she was definitely receptive for it, and I don't know. I thought it was pretty sweet in the sense of like, oh, it was, I don't know, it's endearing to see that like they're actually like
Good for
dating
them.
and doing it good for them in person. But there was another video that I saw, and like a girl was at the library and the guy is like comes in like, can I sit next to you, and like, and he was like really awkward and not picking up on the cues, and she like went off and like complained about it and stuff because she didn't know how to be receptive to him
Yeah.
either. So he wasn't picking up on cues and she wasn't very receptive.
She wasn't being direct.
Yeah.
Speaking of picking up on cues, I had this kid in high school who was very off, and I sat at this lunch table of people who were not very forgiving. I'd say it was like a lunch table at Joel's, like they'll just make fun of you, And he walks up and he gives me this Valentine's Day card, and I was like, thank you. And he stands there and like all my friends are laughing at me, and I feel so bad for this kid. And he's like, go ahead, read it. And so I open it up and he goes, no, read it out loud.
No way.
Dude,
Oh, no.
get the cue. Like, this is not good. So I read out loud. It was like a Pepe Le Pew card, and he wrote a poem in it. I was like, oh my goodness. I was trying to save him from embarrassment.
Was his name Ralph Wiggum?
So bad. No. Do you remember Steve Buscemi and Billy Madison? Like when he's putting lipstick on? It was that guy.
And he liked you.
Yeah. I was a little scared.
Yeah. So you learned from Billy Madison, be nice to him because I do not want to end up on his chalkboard.
He went to his whiteboard at home and crossed off Monica. That's
Mhm.
good.
I saved my own life.
He had never talked to you before, or he was just like awkward and gave
he
you
did. Like, I was nice to him, I had classes and stuff with them. And I think that happened to me a lot in high school because everyone else like wouldn't talk to the weird kids. I always talked to them, but then they would take it the wrong way and think that I like them. So it would get out of control. Some of them would like follow me around school everywhere. Good times.
Was it a big school?
Yeah, it was really big.
Like,
So there were like 12 guys just like kind of stalking Monica down the hall.
They all were like so
she looked back
strange.
and they're like, huh? No.
what happens if they bump into each other? Do they fight? Like, what are you doing? Like, I'm following Monica.
They
What
fight
are you
like the
doing?
end of,
I'm
the
following
Beat It.
Monica.
Yeah. Yeah, I would make them fight. I'd be
Or
like, whoever's the strongest wins.
Or it's not your day. It's not your day today. We're gonna have to set up a rotation of who gets
to sit by me.
or follow you, right? Because they're following you behind the lockers and like peeking out like that Kim Kardashian gif where she's peeking out.
Mm-hmm. Good times.
What are some of your guys' guilty pleasures? Guilty pleasure movie or music?
I really like Bad Baby.
Who's Bad Baby?
She's the girl that got famous for being on Dr. Phil and saying,
Oh,
"Catch me outside."
Yeah, her. That's bad. That's the Catch Me Outside girl.
Yeah,
Why?
I love her. She's so talented. She's such a good rapper.
She's a rapper?
Uh-huh. And she's really good. And people like hate her, but then other people love her. Like a bunch of the bigger rappers make songs with her because she's legitimately talented. And if you ever hear her talk, like she sounds ridiculous when she talks, but if you ever hear her in an interview, she's really intelligent about business and stuff like that. And I relate to her because, when I was a kid, I was like, she got sent away to some place when she was a kid. Same thing happened to me. Like, I just think she was very misunderstood and didn't have the right adults in her life. So I just have a heart for her and I like her. People make fun of me for it all the time, but I don't care.
It's almost sweet.
Yeah. I
Catch
want to
me
be her life coach.
Catch me outside.
Yeah. How about that?
How about that?
How about you, Gabe?
Like some of the music wise, it's like, I like, a lot of like alternative music and, other kind of music, whatever else. But one of the things, and I think it's just growing up with this, like and I can't really listen to too much ranchera music, but like Los Temerarios and Los Bukis.
I know Los
They're
Bukis,
like
yeah.
Ballads in Spanish, these balladeers in Spanish. And they have like the corniest sound. A lot of the times it's like 80s syntho, keyboards.
Mm-hmm.
And they're always talking about heartbreak and this and this and this, but just for whatever reason, because I grew up with that, just a type of music. And it's like one of those types of music where you're going to feel worse listening to it, but it's also very you get a lot of nostalgia from it, just growing up, in that Spanish household. So that's probably a guilty pleasure of mine. I don't listen to them often, but every once in a while I just have a good Bukis groove.
When it's time to clean the house, is that when it comes out?
Sometimes, yeah. You gotta be sad when you're doing that.
Time to mop, get those Bukis on, get the tape out.
Yep.
That's not on Spotify, is it?
I'm sure they are.
Oh, they are?
Yeah. I know they're on, was it Apple Music, whatever else. You get a whole slew of them. Like I said, they're just so, I think they like got stuck in the 80s and everything else that they made from then on, it just all sounds exactly the same.
Well, it's kind of like what is it that you dress when you were the coolest and you kind of keep that throughout your whole life. So like if you were the coolest in like 1987, then you just
but that was your style.
You just keep up with it, man. It's just like, hey man, you want to change that? It's like, nah, man, my fit is good, man.
It worked for me then, it'll work for me now.
I got the drips, I got the fits and the drips.
My style is universal. It's always, and it's timeless. It's always gonna be in.
That sounds like some Mike Tyson press conference.
Yeah.
My style is impetuous.
My impetuous. I'm gonna hit him in I'm gonna hit him
eat his children.
I'm gonna beat him into Bolivian.
I think my guilty pleasure is if Drumline is on, I'm watching it. I love me some Drumline. Like, I'm not a big Nick Cannon fan or anything, but it's just like, I don't know what it is about those drums. They get me, baby. It's like, oh man, once it gets rolling, I was like, oh, I gotta watch this. I gotta watch this next scene. So I've watched Drumline probably like 10 to 15 times.
Do you watch Wildin' Out ever?
No, because the thing is, it's all about the drums. Like there's like a scene where like the other team or whatever, like they're playing like as a popular hip hop song, and then Nick Cannon's drum director's like, let's play Flight of the Bumblebee. So it was like they were like booty twerking on one side, and this guy was like, let's play Flight of the Bumblebee, and that's just like hilarious to me because this guy does not care. He's like, we're gonna play Flight of the Bumblebee, and then like everybody's just like, dang man, they got us, and this is what we're coming back with, Flight of the Bumblebee. All right. So yeah, Drumline is my my guilty one of my guilty pleasures.
You gotta watch Wildin' Out. They roast Drumline all the time.
Yeah, that's not my jam. Like it's like Nick Cannon's not my guy. It's just Drumline.
I know. I'm just saying they make fun of Drumline all the time.
I know. Well, you should watch Chappelle's Show, but you don't. So that's one of my pet peeves. People who don't like Chappelle's Show.
I wasn't allowed to watch anything.
You were already grown, weren't you?
Nah, I
This
don't
is like
think so.
2003, 2005.
I don't think so.
You weren't grown.
No.
As a fan of comedy, I find it hard. I find it hard that you didn't at least watch.
Not really. Like,
That's one of my pet
I
peeves for
don't,
sure.
well, like, I'll watch a movie and I don't think it's funny, and everyone else thinks it's funny. I just have a weird sense of humor. I'm not really like a comedy
funny.
fan. I'm just funny myself, you know?
Yeah. People don't understand comedy. I understand comedy.
We're gonna call you Dr. Comedy.
Like
I
what
have,
movie do you find funny, Monica?
What's up?
Or what movie do you find funny, or what's one that you really like versus what other people think about it?
she's probably like Napoleon Dynamite is funny.
That is funny.
See,
I do like Napoleon. You know
I
what?
I like stupid humor. I always like movies where grown men, like Billy Madison, he's like a grown man and he has to go back to school. And then Elf, he's a grown man and he thinks he's an elf. Step Brothers are like grown men and
Step Brothers is
like
yeah.
I don't know. That's my type of comedy. Grown men being children.
Grown men being children.
I just like silly movies. Little
Step-
Rascals, best movie ever.
Little Rascals.
Little Rascals.
Yeah.
How many times have you watched Little Rascals?
A lot.
A lot. I think I watched it with my kids and they liked it because they were seeing like "Shut Up" and "Stupid," and that was like a new thing. And it's like, oh man, here we go. Like some of my kids I have kids that are just like me. They pick up on all the stuff that I don't want them to pick up on, and that's
Yeah.
what they pick up on. Like, oh, great, this
There's a
kid's
sixth
just
sense for, oh, I probably shouldn't say this, so now I'm going to say it all the time.
yeah. This is, but yeah, I got a kid, man. It's just like, yeah, it's just like me. Shoot, I can't be mad. It's like it's just like you. When I was like, he's just like you. It's like, dang, I know. Speaking of men who act like kids, what's the next? I got another tweet here. This one's actually one of Monica's tweets. Real men don't drink out of straws. Or 2, use windshield wipers. Or 3, wear solar eclipse glasses. What?
Another anytime you write real men anything, you get a ton of followers and a ton of haters. Like people
Yeah.
get so mad. I'm like, it's just a joke.
But real men do not drink out of straws. We actually had a
Yeah.
conversation about this because I was a prolific cereals straw drinker.
And your argument was that
My argument was like if I'm at a restaurant, they don't really wash the dishes. And I'm like, so I'm not going to drink out of the straw or put my mouth on the cup because it's probably not very clean.
Mhm.
To which you said,
You use a fork there.
yeah. And then my whole logic just completely fell
Yeah.
apart.
Out the window. It's like, yeah.
Okay,
So now you don't use straws.
hmm But I think it's one of my character strengths is I can admit when I'm wrong. And I was like,
That's good.
touche. You've got me there. So now
I'm glad I could help you be more manly.
be
They say that women can't teach men how to be men, but like I just did it. So
yeah. I think my wife might have been secretly struggling with me out at restaurants drinking out of a straw. Can I have a paper straw, please, sir?
that's where they're like, ma'am, do you want the check?
He's clearly not in control.
Ma'am, what is your husband going to be eating tonight? Would you like to order for him?
He'll have the salad.
No dressing. He's on a diet.
He's on time. And a lemon water, please.
A lemonade,
No, just a
Diet lemonade.
a lemon and water.
which you put your own Crystal Light packet into.
Do they still make Crystal Light? I remember that was pretty popular years ago. I don't know if that's a thing anymore.
I'm sure they do.
I
Why
don't
would
get
they stop?
I don't get this used windshield wipers though.
I was telling someone that my dad always said real men don't drink out of a straws, and he said, yeah, or use windshield wipers. I just thought it was funny.
Just leave the bugs on the windshield. Just you can see through them. No big deal.
Just drive through the rain.
Did he do that?
No, but I used to have a car that didn't have windshield wipers. It was dangerous. I used to have to
What
pull
about-
over all
what-
the time.
What about when it does actually snow and you see people that just cleared out enough of the windshield wiper just so they can see forward, but the
That's what
rest
I
of it's
do.
completely covered in.
That's what I do. I'm always scared I'm gonna get pulled over, but I'm like, it's too cold. I don't want to stand out here scraping my car.
You got to do the whole windshield. Is that what it is?
Well, so you have a little peripheral vision because you have all the other people driving around in snow. You want to, want someone to T-bone you because they're not able to see you either. But yeah, whatever. Vision's
Yeah.
overrated.
I didn't even know that. I never lived in a snowing place.
Oh, soft.
You're lucky.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
made
not a
for
real
I'm
man.
made for the sun.
Me too. But I live in the snow.
Yeah, I'm made for the sun. That's why I don't wear sunblock. I was made for this.
That's manly. That's
Yeah.
good.
Not wearing sunblock. I do wear lotion though, but there's actually a
Ooh.
lotion
Oh,
season
that's
when it's
good.
when it's too hot. I'll get sweaty or oily enough, so I don't need a lotion. But when it gets cold, then I'll get ashy, so I'll need to wear some lotion. So there's lotion season, and then there's no lotion season. For me.
Lotion is good. Men should wear lotion. That's manly.
Hmm.
It's neutral. It's gender neutral.
Is sunning your balls manly?
I've heard it is.
Abe, do you sun your balls?
No, I never find the time.
He's too busy. You
Yeah.
need self-care.
I always forget to pencil that in.
Put
Are
it in
your-
your calendar.
Emails
That's supposed to help
or-
with your T levels. Is that what it is? T levels are low.
Probably.
I think my
The
T
T
levels
level.
I think my T levels are fine once I corrected the non-straw drinking. It was like perfect. I have the perfect balance of tea now.
Your estrogen went way down.
My estrogen levels and my T levels balanced out to the perfect balance. I don't get
Um,
this. Wear solar eclipse glasses. Are those the blue blockers that you talking about, like the old people wear?
Remember when there was the solar eclipse and Trump looked at it? He looked at it without his glasses and people were like roasting him.
Yeah.
I was like, that's manly. Because I
Hmm.
went out there too and looked at it and I'm fine, you know.
You know what's scary is I have kids. So the last one I had a kid in like preschool or something like that. And I think they gave him they had the kids come out with like paper bags over their heads because like they didn't want the kids to look at because the thing with kids is like you can tell them like, hey, don't do this thing, and they're gonna go and do that thing. It's like, man, my kid is gonna go blind
Yeah.
because this kid does not listen. The first thing you tell them to do, like, hey, don't look at the sun. They're gonna pull a Trump and go and look at it, but like dead. And it's like, man, like you already have to pay like dentist bills that come all the time. Like, so I don't know, man. Like every time they go to the dentist, it's like hundreds of dollars. Like, dang, man, don't go to the dentist again. I can't imagine like if my kid looks up at the solar eclipse, it's like now I got a blind kid. Like, oh shoot. But it was so funny. They came out with like these paper bags over their heads with the eyes cut out.
Oh, that doesn't even make sense. The eyes are cut out.
Well, they have to be able to see.
Or they put
Yeah,
like a
but
shade
then
over
they
it or
can
something?
still look at the sun.
But isn't that like a special thing anyway?
Well, if you do like a pinhole one, or there's something to do with a pinhole, but then they have special glasses also. But yeah, that's pretty funny.
Yeah, it
How
was
does-
funny.
That'd be funny if they had to wear masks while they had a paper bag on their head.
Oh, poor bastards, man.
So sad.
Yeah. Yeah, because
What else?
the last solar eclipse was probably like a good 3 or 4 years ago, I think.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Is that what it was?
Hmm.
That's how you know you're getting old. Is like you can't tell if stuff was like 3 or 4 years ago or if it was like 2 weeks ago. It's like I don't remember.
Yeah, it's rough. What else don't men do?
I don't know.
I just make these lists every once in a while just to like create a stir.
just to kick up a hornet's nest.
Troll, yeah,
They definitely
time.
don't sit down when they pee.
that's true. Actually, real men pee outside. Let's be real.
Yeah.
If
You
have
guys
a
need,
yard,
like-
you have to pee in your yard every once in a while just to kind of, establish dominance, make sure that the dogs in the neighborhood know whose yard it is.
Mark your territory.
Yeah.
That's why, like, those dog parks that they have? They're like just a little fenced in area for dogs to play.
Yeah.
You take your cat there?
No, but they should have them for men where they can just pee outside, throw frisbees.
They're called construction areas. Construction areas.
It's called outside. I think that takes away from being a man if you have a designated pee outside area. The point
yeah,
is,
but like,
the point is, I pee where I want.
yeah, but this would be like a bonding thing for men to like all meet there.
No, you
pee.
know what? There's actually places where, you know, in some like the old bathrooms, that they were just like these lined up, just like a big trough that would
Big trough,
go all the way across the bathroom and just have water just constantly running. So everybody just whips out their bing bong and
I think
there
Oh,
it
it
is.
should
Just,
be.
there's no what do you call it? Dividers or anything? Like,
partitions.
nope.
Yeah. The I think Cubs the Cubs Stadium, the one in Chicago, has
Wrigley
that.
Field?
I think it was that one. There was a video of a guy. I think he was on a dare for like $100 or something, and he dove into one of those.
Ugh.
Yeah, it was rancid, but yeah, it's just a big trough.
$100?
I don't know how much it was, but he just dove headfirst into it.
Son had to be real drunk to be doing
Yeah.
something like that.
Oh, I think he was a little inebriated, but yeah, it's just, you know, we don't even need, you know, just individual urinals, just one big trough. That's fine.
That is nasty. What about local sayings, how you know someone's not from where you're from?
I have more that I know people are from Pittsburgh
what?
if they say it, like yins. Everyone says yins here, and other people from other states are like, what does that mean?
What's yins?
It's basically like the same as saying you guys or y'all.
You
people.
ins, like yins.
Yeah, I don't know. We just say
Yeah.
yins. Like yins guys coming to dinner tonight.
You say that too?
I say y'all, which apparently like you're not supposed to if you're from the South, but I don't, for some reason I just say it. But everyone in my family and everything says yins.
But you don't?
I've never heard of that.
Not really.
I think I've heard it because there was somebody from like New Hampshire. I had friends that were over there. I think they said yins, but I think they were from over there.
Yeah, they call us yinsers out here because we have like a personality type. You know,
Which is what?
the Steelers, like you revolve your life around the Steelers. Blue collar, always yelling about things that are irrelevant. Like we have this thing, look it up on YouTube. It's called Pittsburgh Dad. And this guy just has this whole character of someone from Pittsburgh, and every dad from Pittsburgh is exactly like him. Just like always yelling about things that don't matter.
Like what?
Like here's an example. My own dad, one time when I was a kid, he lost the scissors and he's like screaming. He's like, who hid the scissors? Somebody hid the scissors from me. You guys hide things from me on purpose. We're like, who hides this? Like, we know you're going to use the scissors, you know? I don't know. They just yell all the time about nothing. Watch, I'll send you a Pittsburgh Dad video and you'll get it.
I might be a little bit like that too.
I don't.
I'm yelling like because there's always something that's supposed to be somewhere and it's not, and so it's like, you know, it's like these kids, oh my gosh, I put stuff here and you guys get into my stuff. So yeah, like your dad has a point. He definitely has.
It wasn't any of us.
I don't say y'all because I feel like that's a Southern thing or like a Texas thing. So it's like I'm y'all excluded. But you've been y'all grafted in, right, Abe?
Oh yeah, you know, once you get residency in Arkansas or wherever, it's like you get your y'all pass. You know?
Wait, how do you establish residency? I figured that'd be to be more than just like spending like 2 years in Arkansas.
No, you know, it's 6 months, then your probationary period for 2 years after that.
I feel like you'd have to earn your way over there. I feel like there's a like initiation. It's like, oh, now you're
you
one of
have
us.
to. It depends on what SEC team you're rooting for. You have to make sure you go to a certain number of games, and then you know, root for them. How many hours have you watched, and how many hours of like old games have you watched? And then they'll, you know, if you don't meet those criteria after 2 years, they just kick you out of the state.
Oh, okay.
You know?
So that gave you the
property you had becomes, you know, property of the state, and it's too bad. So
you didn't get your y'all pass.
yeah, I mean, but the thing is, it's not that hard to do because everything here is Razorbacks, right? I mean, it's funny. Even the other sports, they kind of the college sports, they kind of are grafted into, like the gymnastics team. They call them the gym backs, right? and then like the baseball teams, the Diamond Hogs, and everything's the either Razorbacks or Razorback. They call the ladies basketball team the Ladybacks. I made a joke when I first got here that made some people a little uncomfortable, but I thought it was pretty funny. Said I was here for about 2 weeks, and somebody thought that I was a member of the college swim team because somebody called me a wetback. I was like, but it went over pretty well with some people at the office. Other people were like, I'm not sure if I can laugh at that, but hey, I thought it was pretty good.
Well, you can laugh at it as long as there's no phones around recording it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like
I'm not sure if I'd be able to get away. I'd have to talk to HR now.
Yeah. Being from LA, you could tell like when somebody was from like Northern California, because like when we have our like freeways, if I'm giving directions, like, hey, you take the 101 to the 5 to the 17, whereas like people from Northern California will be like, oh, take 5 to 101 to 17. It's like, oh, you're not from here, you're from the Bay. And also like in LA, you'd be like, dang man, it's hot as hell. Whereas in the Bay, they'll be like, hey man, it's hella hot. So you would know where they were from.
It's hella hot, dude.
Dude.
Migrated over to northern Nevada, where I was from.
Mm-hmm.
So when I moved there from Colorado in high school, hella was the thing. I was like, what's this hella thing?
Yeah.
And it's like, but I think it was just mostly them grafting it on because it's a cool thing that Californians say, but
right.
I think it is.
But Northern Californians, though, not Southern California, because like we'll be like, huh? You mean hot as hell?
Yep.
Come on, man. Because they're almost two different states, really, and Southern California is better.
And the thing is, but a lot of Californians have been, moving their way over to Colorado, and I can tell because nobody ever that when I went to was ever said something like "no worries," right? And I went to Colorado here recently, and I go into those certain shops or whatever, and I could tell the people that had transplanted I'm not sure if it's a California thing now, if they grafted it on from Australia. I think Australians say that a lot. But I'd go and buy something at a shop, and they're like, "All right, no worries." I'm like, "That's not a Colorado thing."
No,
at least not when I was growing up. So
yeah,
I think it's gotten kind of grafted on.
Let's go ahead and look at the last tweet that we have here. This one's, I think it's a banger. Where's my share screen?
A banger.
All of them are bangers.
All of my tweets are straight banging, son. Date with a lady. This is from Theo Alien 1219. Dude is sitting at, what was that? Looks like Baker Square or something.
Yeah, the TGI Fridays, or what is that?
Yeah, he's in the booth with a drink. He's got a blow-up doll as his date. Son asked out a nice young lady, and she said yes. So of course he wanted to show her a nice time.
She looks like she's had a little too much to drink too.
She didn't even take a sip of her drink.
That's her second one. That's why.
She's a cheap date. And he's if he can't get lucky, then I mean that's he might need to take some more dating courses.
Yeah.
Is that an empty beer by him?
By him? Oh yeah, it is. I think.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
But hers is.
Or it might be a water, right?
You notice
he wants to be responsible.
She has a straw. He does not.
Oh.
And I think it has
the paper thing on it.
The paper thing on it, yeah. So it hasn't been tampered with because safety first.
You know how he got that date? It wasn't by just saying hey.
Hey.
Yeah. He went and asked her.
Do you want to go to TGI Fridays?
She said, "Can I check you out?" And check you out at the store that I bought you from, and then.
This is where we're headed, though. Like the way, with porn everywhere and whatever, like AI girlfriends. It's weird. Did you guys ever see? There was a show. I'm sure they have it on My Strange Addiction, but there was like this British show that.
You lost me at there already.
These people were like having sexual relationships with their cars, or there was one guy he was in love with a Ferris wheel. Like he lived on this thing and put like thousands of like $100,000 into this thing, and like because it kept breaking and whatever, and they would legitimately make love to these Inanimate objects,
Yikes.
furniture, everything.
I think there was a woman who came out as like an ocean sexual, and so she would just like go out into the water like, oh.
I feel in the ocean.
It's so weird. So it's not just men, it's strange women.
Oh yeah, there's some women too. It's so weird.
Do you guys think this guy's gonna make it? Like he got the if you do like the green the line right here, look at his frame. Like he is.
Hey, yeah, and
on it.
she's leaning under.
She's
Oh,
leaning.
yeah. Don't lean in, bro.
Yeah, I mean he's got the perfect.
He's confident. He's sitting up straight.
Yeah, he is definitely wearing the pants in this
He
relationship.
bought her a expensive drink.
Well, you know he's paying for the date too, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's
He probably
manly.
bought that dress that she has on too. So, you know,
Yeah,
It looks late too, so it looks like he didn't just take her there for half-priced appetizers.
Mhm. Not happy hour.
he doesn't skimp. You know, so he's a player.
He's manly.
Yeah, he paid for everything that date for sure. He ordered for her, right? Like man is just check. No straw.
Alpha male.
Teach me. One of my favorite things was like the waitress over here is like, what kind of BS am I dealing with over here? Like, oh my gosh, like I need to get a new job. Like if you think about like hating your job, like this lady is serving a
She
dude.
could be jealous.
She could be like, I can't even get a date.
Do you think?
Yeah.
Do you think this was a real picture? Or you think he was just messing around? He lost a bet.
He kind of looks like it would be a real picture. No offense to him, but he just has one of those
The no chin suggests.
Physiognomy.
physiognomy. What else? Yeah,
Physiognomy never lies.
physiognomy. Yeah.
And he's not 6 foot tall, right? Because if you look at the guy with the beard, it's a strong beard next to him, looks like way taller. I mean, he is closer in, right? So that makes you look taller, but you know, he definitely looks taller, like because you know the 6 foot plus is definitely, you know, you could just ask any girl out and they'll say yes.
Well, that's why he told his date to slouch down a little bit because she was taller than him.
She was wearing heels, to be fair.
That's so weird. What would you do if you saw that in real life?
Take a picture just like this.
Would you?
True. You'd have to. You'd have to take a
Would you
picture.
say anything to him?
I would say, good luck. Good luck to you.
Good luck.
Good luck. Here's my card. You need therapy.
Would you really want to talk to this guy?
I mean, no, maybe.
No, he would not.
If I had like a safety barrier, like if I knew that he couldn't figure out what kind of car I drive or anything like that, I would definitely have a conversation with him and ask some questions. If I knew that I could leave at any point.
It looks like they do have half-priced appetizers there.
Yeah.
That's what Monica said. She said it's later at night, so he's not skimping. This is, you know, it's beyond happy hour.
Yeah. Past 5 p.m.
Yep.
Is that
Oh,
what it is,
wait.
9 p.m.?
And something p.m. to close.
Maybe he is skimping on it.
He's skimping.
But I think that's kind of takes, you know, it takes some planning, and that shows, you know, planning, and that's a good thing, right? Women look for a man who is a planner and going to take control and take care of resources, and he's showing all those things. He's doing.
He didn't
all those
say,
things.
"Oh, we'll just go wherever you want to go." He said, "No, we're going to TGI Fridays. This is what we're having. Have a nice night."
Hey,
out.
if you go, because I'm not the dating guy, right? But if you go on a date and a guy uses a coupon, yes, good or bad?
Like a first date?
Sure.
I don't know.
2 for 1. Get whatever you want, mama.
That's a tough question. Now, did he say like, let's go to this restaurant?
Yeah.
Or was it just like, oh, I happen to have a coupon?
No, he planned it. This is
I don't know. I don't know.
This is why you want guys or people to get out of your car.
Because like on one
immediately.
hand, you are like, okay, he knows how to save money. He's good with money. That's great. But on the other hand, it's like,
Is he
did
cheap?
he only take me here because he has a coupon? Yeah.
It might depend on where you're going, because if it's a coupon to like a nice steak, like, not too bad.
They have coupons.
Like Burger King.
They do. They
They
have.
do.
We went to one.
Hmm.
It's like the Brazilian. It's like a Brazilian steakhouse. It's like $100 a
A bit
person.
of chow or something.
What's that?
Fogo de Chao.
Yeah, Fogo de Chao. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I think that's exactly it.
They still do the green and red
Yep.
thing.
And mine was
And-
green the
And
whole
no matter
time.
which way you have it, they're still going to give meat.
I decimated that place. Definitely not a first date place for a guy like me. I won't make a good first impression. I think I took my wife to like Burger King when we first dated.
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah.
My parents met at McDonald's. So it's fine.
She didn't eat. I had like 5 chicken sandwiches. She's like, "What the hell is up with this guy?"
She didn't eat.
She doesn't.
You
eat
were like,
Burger
I'm
King.
sorry. By the time I got 5 chicken sandwiches, I don't have any money left for
Yeah,
you.
pretty much. I was a
You
broke
can have a
teenager.
sip of my water.
Broke teenager.
Mhm.
She loves me though, so it's all right. I think this kind of wraps it up here for us, you guys. I got some good tweets on the streets. All right, we'll go and wrap it up. This is the Read Your Keys podcast. I'm your host, Joel Lopez. Take heart, Monica. Monica, thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Gabe, don't call me Gabe. Lopez, my cousin.
Gabe, don't call me Abe. Abe, don't call me Gabe.
Yeah.
Lopez.
You don't even know which one it is. I'm gonna change my name on there to that on Twitter.
Yeah, don't call me Gabe.
Do it.
Yeah.
You can find him at Abe Lopez Author on Twitter. I'm your host, Joel Lopez, the real Joel Lopez. Thanks so much, you guys, for tuning in. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.